If you go to production and start using all this AI technology without control, AI will control you. So you're controlling AI, right? So that changes the mindset. The people who are doing this real in a production environment and taking it to scale are getting huge benefits.
Today, we are joined by Amit Zavery, President, Chief Product Officer, and Chief Operating Officer at ServiceNow. With over 3 decades of experience building and leading cutting-edge tech teams at the world's biggest enterprise software companies, Amit is now steering ServiceNow's platform, shaping how organizations work smarter in the age of automation and generative AI.
Amit, thank you so much for
course.
joining us today. Appreciate you making the time and being here. So what has the last last 8 hours been like at the summit today for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I think the amount of energy and interest and the people activity here, I've not seen this level so fast.
Perfect.
Today has been very busy. A
Amazing.
lot of interest. We have a booth here as well,
Right.
showing some of the AI technologies. It's packed whole day. Plus, I met with a lot of customers and a
Okay.
lot of partners here, few media interviews and everything else, and a lot of activity.
You recently wrote that AI doesn't replace enterprise software. It redefines it. In one sentence, what is the single biggest thing enterprises are getting wrong about AI right now?
I think this AI is a good technology foundation, but it does not run the business by itself. That's what they're getting wrong, that you need a lot of context to use inside an enterprise. And AI is just one part of the technology, but you have to wrap it around with a lot of security, governance, audit, compliance, but also the context for business operations. That's, I think, what people are missing out on. And they ignore that part, thinking that it's just to replace business.
But do you think AI is here to take the jobs of people?
I'm sure in some cases, just like with any technology shift, there will be some jobs will be lost. This happened with every technology shift, so no doubt, right? But there'll be a lot of new jobs creation.
So upskilling would be the way to go.
For sure. I think there needs to be a lot of upskilling, but also understanding the impact and the value of it. You can't ignore technology shift. The worst thing you can do is just say, somehow it'll disappear. This is moving fast enough that you can't ignore it. But then if you use it and adapt it well, it could really be beneficial.
So you were born and raised in India, and you've spent 30 years building some of the world's most powerful enterprise platforms, right from Oracle to Google Cloud to now ServiceNow.
Yeah.
And you started as a software engineer and became president, CPO, and COO to see India hosting the summit.
Makes me very proud. When I was growing up, the access to any kind of technology, I left for my undergrad in 1989. And to see India, the superpower it is, and the amazing amount of innovation happening here, definitely makes me very proud and gets me really excited to be part of that and be able to contribute somewhat back to India in many ways. All of my jobs I had at Oracle, Google, and as well as now ServiceNow, large presence in India. So it feels good to be connected and be part of a lot of these changes happening, and it's to be originating a lot in India as well. So I feel very good about it, and to be able to come back here and talk about things I got to learn and then contribute, it's great.
Leaving Google Cloud right as it was hitting its stride, what did you see at ServiceNow? And in this AI moment that made that leap like a year ago?
A few things. I was at Google for 6 years. We built a business. I joined when we were less than 5 billion or so in revenue. By the time I left, we were 45 billion. So it was a very good, fast growth. And I think I learned a lot from it. It was an exciting place, as well as we got to do something which nobody expected. So it was very, very exciting to make that happen. But one thing I was seeing with that change at Google, that AI was becoming forefront of how companies will use enterprise software. At Google, I got to learn about infrastructure and build out the platform. I thought with ServiceNow, I followed ServiceNow as a company for many years. It's amazing what they've done. And to be able to now transform how companies operate in an enterprise level, right? And be able to really automate the business processes, really make the AI work for people versus as just a technology, gave me an exciting opportunity to come in here and take that learnings I've had and apply it to a very well-defined company, which has been doing so much good for a lot of enterprises, and take it to the next level. So that was really the opportunity for me.
So before we move on to more AI-driven questions, what is the one thing that you've taken from the culture at Google, which is going to be a part of your DNA for the rest of your life?
Innovation. Google is a very innovative company. It also questions a lot of things. And the third part I really loved about Google was it tries to do the right thing, which is what I really appreciate when I think about anything here at ServiceNow or in my life in general. Are we doing the right thing for people? Are we doing the right thing? As I think you have here for the AI Summit, like what are you doing for the planet? What are you trying to do from progress perspective? Are you helping? Is it going to make an impact? So I take what we learned at Google, what I did there, and that culture into ServiceNow and just in my daily life as well.
So you've made agentic AI and autonomous workflows the centerpiece of ServiceNow strategy. What does agentic AI actually mean, and why does it matter more than the chatbots and co-pilots everyone's been talking about?
Yeah, I think the agentic, and I know it's kind of all these buzzwords can be very confusing, and we love to do it just because it sounds exciting, interesting. How can you make things happen in an automatic way without you having to prompt and do things with it? What autonomous is doing, decisioning as well as the full end-to-end task completion without any human interaction. I mean, assistance is great for employees, but for enterprises, it's really automation in a much more scaled way. So we're moving away from the day of like day-to-day assisting kind of work for employees, which is great for your individual, but sometimes doesn't help the company. But if you want to help the company, how do you really make them efficient? And that's what this autonomous work we are doing. The Agentic is basically using AI agents, but tying them together end to end, not just one part of the solution. And then connecting humans to it, of course, as needed. But this autonomous opportunity, the things we're building out at ServiceNow is really operating the business at the next level now.
So a lot of enterprises are experimenting with AI, building pilots, testing tools. You said that the key is moving from experimentation to execution.
Yeah.
What is the difference between companies that are experimenting with AI and companies that are actually transforming with it?
Technology shift is huge, that you have to be aware that you can't do things which might disrupt your business and make it wrong. So you need security, you need some kind of oversight, you need control. So that's kind of what getting to real production thing is, to put those things in first. Because if you go to production and start using all this AI technology without control, AI will control you. So you're controlling AI, right? So that changes the mindset. The people who are doing this real in a production environment and taking it to scale are getting huge benefits, right? They're getting efficiency gains, and that's helping the top line and bottom line. So we've seen many customers of ours really scale. Once they start one or two use cases, they do many, which is, I think, because they see the value fast. I think the experimentation part is good, but then be deliberate and thoughtful.
You've scaled enterprise software businesses at Oracle, Google Cloud, and that's over $50 billion in combined revenue under your leadership. But from where you sit, what is the gap between what CEOs and boards think they need to do with AI and what actually drives businesses?
I think there is definitely the fear of missing out, right? So the CEOs and boards are pushing everybody to say, hey, this AI technology is real. There are a lot of people benefiting it. The difference is that a lot of times you don't understand the implications or where to start. So when I talk to a lot of the C-suite, they're like, everybody's telling me to do something with AI. Where should I start? Then how do I do it? How do I measure outcome? And do you know whether it's really going to deliver value to me? So that I think people don't know enough. And that's why I think the biggest thing, the barrier to entry has been about control, visibility, security, because they worry as well. Do I lose my IP? So that has been the missing part for many companies. So if you remove that barrier for them, then they move fast.
But do you think the awareness is spreading fast and there's less apprehension today for C-suites to like take this on? And
the worry, I think what we're seeing with customers is they don't know what to do and how to do. That has been the apprehension. Plus also the reskilling. It's not only a technology change, it's a cultural shift as well. As you said, people are worried about losing the jobs. People are worried about losing the control. So this idea of spare parts, right? What are people are starting to do now, and they lose track of it, is I'll just take some technology and somehow it's AI. Right? They take AI technology and say, oh, I'll use an LLM. Is that enough? No, because you need to have a solution. The solution gives you control, visibility, as well as longevity, right? Because upgrade, maintenance, changing policies. How do you bring that? That's what the missing is, a context usually. Once you bring in context, the value gets very, very fast.
ServiceNow just announced a major partnership with OpenAI.
Yep.
And you're also working with NVIDIA, but you've been very clear that customers shouldn't have to care about which model you use.
Yeah.
They should care about outcomes. How do you think about AI partnerships when the technology is changing every 30 days, I think?
No, I think that's, as you point out, I think that's where the biggest issue for customers. When they do spare part kind of world, I'll just take this technology. How do you keep up? Whenever a new technology wave happens, everybody loves this idea of, I'll experiment, I'll learn from it, and they'll lose control. Happened with cloud, happened with web, And now people eventually realize people who are specialists, it's better to use their solution than do everything by yourself. So our partnership is always about what does the end customer want? What can I give them a better solution? And give them choice. We have been always open ecosystem player. We connect into all the different systems out there. We support, as you said, different large language models, Anthropic, OpenAI, Gemini, and others, open source as well. We support all hyperscalers. Also, we allow customers to run on the private cloud or sovereign clouds. So we've always been about giving choices. And our partnerships are all driven from the idea of, can I build synergy and get a better outcome? So there's a lot of synergy between all these providers and us. But we also want to hide the complexity for our customers. Right? Even though it sounds exciting, I want to do prompt engineering or I want to do a lot of the inferencing ourselves, it's just not manageable. Right? And there are few people who love it, but other people don't care because they want the outcome. Technology is just some part of the business. They want to grow the business. They want to improve the bottom line. I mean, just because you can grow vegetable doesn't mean you become a farmer, right? Why would you not give that to specialist people who do that and focus on your day-to-day lives? So that's how I see the partnerships, creating ecosystem, giving choices to customers and helping them on the journey, but with a solution mindset. You shouldn't care what the technology is. Are you using a different chip? Who cares? Or are you using a different large language model? As long as you're making it secured, giving them visibility, giving them control, and they choose what makes sense.
Now, the summit's theme is people, planet, and progress. And you've talked about autonomous workflows and AI agents taking over tasks that used to require human coordination. How do we make sure this technology creates more opportunity than displacement, especially in a country like India with millions of knowledge workers?
As I said, all this technology shift, and you're right, it could create some job displacement. But that's why ServiceNow, we really believe about AI for people. We are really making AI work for people is our tagline. So it really applies to what we be talking about here, because if you make it for people, then you're going to get progress for them. And the way we think about is that bringing this technology to make your job easier, the mundane task, even though there are a lot of knowledge workers, they don't want to do the mundane task, repeatable task, because that is not really value add for the company. At ServiceNow, we have gotten benefit around $350 million of savings by using AI, but we have not displaced anybody. Our number of people inside ServiceNow has grown. So we continue to grow because our top line is growing. Be able to take the people's experiences and apply to a lot of new problems we want to solve. We expanded our TAM, where our TAM is now $600 billion because we've been able to go into new segments. We got into security segment. We are doing things in CRM, employee engagement, not just IT anymore. So we are able to now have all these people available with domain expertise, not just doing the mundane task and not able to do value add.
And before I let you go, if 2 minutes with every world leader at this summit, what would you tell them about AI?
AI is here to stay. So don't ignore it. Make sure you think with security mindset, privacy mindset. I think it's important to have that oversight. I think this technology can go haywire, not give you the outcome you want, can make a lot of mistakes, by the way. You have to kind of surround it with a lot of other scaffoldings and policies and programs and regulations to make sure you're doing a protected way so that you can benefit out of it.
Right.
So my thing with the world leaders is make sure you are investing. Are you reskilling people and really appreciating the opportunity it creates for you as a country? And I think India is doing a great job of doing that. And I think good to see the focus and the level of engagement. I mean, this is coming top down across the board, and it shows people are realizing the value of it.
And adding on to this another layer, as somebody who's sitting at the helm of, I think, transitions, decision-making, leading innovation also, what would you tell the young generation to do with AI and the tools and the access that we were talking about, which you didn't have back in the day, 1989? What are the 3 key things you would tell them to sort of look at and follow?
One, of course, use some of these tools. It's a good thing, but don't lose your critical thinking. See, what is happening with some of this technology does so much stuff for you as an individual. You stop reading, writing. And if you stop reading and writing, everything else is going to be horrible after eyes. And I think I'm worried about some of the youngsters who think ChatGPT or technologies like Gemini and all, you can just ask for it to do things for you. Are you reading what's the outcome? Are you understanding what it says? And are you verifying against things? So critical thinking, I think, irrespective of whatever technology shift you are in, if you stop critical thinking, the rest will be really not going to help you in life. And second, just get exposure. I mean, learn new things. I love technology, so I've been doing that for all my life. So any new thing comes along, I love to play with it.
What is the latest?
Latest, I think a lot of the things which are happening in this autonomous, as we've been doing now, where we're literally doing full end-to-end tasks. But the whole idea of physical AI now, right? You're seeing this thing with humanoids and all
Yes.
that. The security around that is going to be very critical because that has a game-changing
Yes.
effect in life and people. So that how will the AI technology work with it? How do you make sure it's secured? How do you make sure you have some control?
Is there something that would keep you up at night?
I think the pace. Every day is like a whiplash because the new things coming out. How much can you keep up with it?
I agree.
It keeps
Are
me.
you part of the 5 a.m. club?
I do wake up early. I wouldn't call it 5 a.m., but I sleep very late and I wake up early.
Oh, wow.
So I try to keep up, but it is getting to everyone.
On that note, I will let you get back to your day, but thank you so much.
Lovely to you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Regulating AI podcast with Sanjay Puri. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought. Share it with someone curious about the future of AI, and join us next time for more stories and insights from the leaders shaping what's ahead. Right here on the Regulating AI podcast.